Lessons from history. Greetings, dear readers. It is I, Zoran the Dragon, here to share a tale as old as time of power, authority, and the unyielding spirit of democracy. In this chapter, we shall journey through the annals of history, drawing parallels to the present day and uncovering the vital lessons that must not be forgotten. Key takeaways from the rise of fascism. The rise of fascism in the 20th century was a stark reminder of how fragile democracy can be. Leaders like Hitler and Mussolini exploited economic woes, societal divisions, and a longing for stability to establish totalitarian regimes. They used propaganda, suppressed dissent, and dismantled democratic institutions, leading their nations down a path of destruction. The key takeaways from this dark period include the importance of vigilance. Democracies must remain vigilant against the encroachment of authoritarianism. Apathy and complacency can lead to the erosion of freedoms. The power of propaganda. Authoritarians often use propaganda to manipulate public opinion and suppress opposition. Recognizing and countering false narratives is crucial. The role of civil society. A strong civil society, including free press, independent judiciary, and active citizenry, is essential in safeguarding democracy. How to recognize and resist authoritarian tactics. In the present day, the actions of leaders like President Trump and influential figures like Elon Musk raise concerns about the potential erosion of democratic values. Here are some ways to recognize and resist authoritarian tactics. Disregard for democratic norms. Authoritarians often dismiss established norms and procedures. Vigilance is required to hold leaders accountable. Consolidation of power. Actions like Musk's acquisitions and Trump's attempts to undermine democratic institutions are red flags. Public awareness and resistance are necessary. Suppression of dissent. Efforts to silence opposition, whether through legal means or social media control, must be challenged to protect free speech. Zoran's Dialogue. What can we do to protect democracy? Dear friends, the question that echoes through the corridors of time. What can we do to protect democracy? The answer lies within each of us. We must remain vigilant, informed, and active participants in our communities. Challenge the narratives that seek to divide us, support the institutions that uphold justice, and never underestimate the power of collective action. For it is in unity that the true strength of democracy resides. Zoran the Dragon, Trump and Musk. A dance of power and influence. Greetings, dear readers. It is I, Zoran the Dragon, here to share tales of great influence and unparalleled power. Today, we delve into the intriguing actions of President Trump and the enigmatic Elon Musk. President Trump's reign. President Trump's tenure has been nothing short of controversial. From his polarizing policies to his charismatic yet divisive persona, Trump's influence on modern politics is undeniable. One symbolic representation of his authority was the Time magazine cover that depicted him as a king, a powerful visual that sparked numerous debates. The Time cover. In this image, President Trump is portrayed with a crown atop his head, a scepter in hand, and a regal robe flowing down his shoulders. The cover epitomized the perception of Trump's authoritarian approach to leadership, igniting conversations about the balance of power and the preservation of democratic principles. Elon Musk's ventures. Elon Musk, a name synonymous with innovation and ambition, has made significant strides across various industries. From the acquisition of Twitter, now X, to groundbreaking endeavors like Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink, Musk's influence is vast and ever-growing. Twitter, now X. Musk's $44 billion acquisition of Twitter in October 2022 marked a pivotal moment. He swiftly implemented changes, including mass layoffs, policy overhauls, and the reinstatement of banned accounts. Reports surfaced of his team raiding Twitter's computer systems to assess internal communications and data. Tesla. Musk's electric vehicle company, Tesla, continues to revolutionize the automotive industry, though it has faced scrutiny over labor practices and workplace culture. SpaceX pushes the boundaries of space exploration, securing significant government contracts and substantial influence. Neuralink, aiming to develop brain-computer interfaces. Neuralink sparks excitement and concern about merging human cognition with machines. The Boring Company, Musk's infrastructure venture, focuses on tunnel construction, revolutionizing urban transportation. xAI, launched in 2023, Musk's AI company aims to advance AI development, though critics argue it could further consolidate his influence over the tech sector. Zoran's dialogue, power, and responsibility are the dance of power and influence. President Trump and Elon Musk, titans of their domains, each wielding great authority, yet with such power comes an even greater responsibility to uphold the values that bind our societies. For it is not merely the possession of power, but the wisdom to use it justly that defines true greatness. Zoran the Dragon. From ambitions and the shadows of displacement, greetings, dear readers. I'm Zoran the Dragon, here to share tales of great influence and unparalleled power. Today, we delve into the audacious and controversial actions of President Trump and the consequences of his ambitions. President Trump's plan for Gaza. President Trump's tenure has been marked by numerous polarizing decisions, but none as contentious as his plan to take over Gaza and displace its Palestinian population. Trump proposed that the United States take control of Gaza, transforming it into a thriving region while relocating its 3 million Palestinian residents to neighboring countries. The plan, Trump suggested that Gaza's population be permanently relocated, arguing that the area is uninhabitable and that Palestinians would be better off in new, safe communities. He envisioned the US taking over Gaza, clearing the rubble and developing it into a prosperous region. Global reaction. The plan has been met with widespread condemnation. Critics label it as ethnic cleansing and a violation of international law. Human rights organizations and Arab nations have vehemently rejected the proposal, arguing that forcibly displacing Palestinians is a grave injustice. Despite the backlash, Trump has continued to promote his vision, insisting that it is the best solution for peace in the region, undermining decades of peace negotiations. Trump's plan to take over Gaza and displace its population threatens to undermine the last 50 years of peace negotiations between Israel and Palestine. For decades, efforts have been made to achieve a two-state solution where both Israelis and Palestinians can coexist peacefully. Trump's proposal disregards these efforts and risks reigniting conflict in the region. Disregard for established agreements. The plan ignores the Oslo Accords and other agreements that have been the foundation of peace negotiations. By proposing the displacement of Palestinians, Trump undermines the principles of mutual recognition and coexistence that have been central to these agreements, destabilizing the region. The forced relocation of millions of Palestinians would likely lead to increased tensions and violence, not only in Gaza, but throughout the Middle East. Arab nations have warned that such a move would inflame regional instability and threaten the fragile ceasefire in Gaza. Erosion of trust. Trump's plan erodes the trust that has been painstakingly built between Israelis and Palestinians over the years. It sends a message that international agreements and negotiations can be disregarded, making future peace efforts even more challenging. Zoran's dialogue, power, and responsibility are the dance of power and influence. President Trump, with ambitions as vast as the desert sands, seeks to reshape Gaza in his vision. Yet, with such power comes an even greater responsibility to uphold the values that bind our societies. For it is not merely the possession of power, but the wisdom to use it justly that defines true greatness. Zoran the Dragon.